Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I will be continuing What If Naruto Act Like Gaara. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
You are watching Shinobi LX. Enjoy.
So last left us off with Hinata telling Naruto that it's just a bit of training. And Naruto, he thinks about it. Yeah, the Hyuga do train a lot. And he has been going for a while, so it probably could have just been like a couple of days ago. So Naruto was like, maybe you should go to the hospital. And she was like, I already been there. That's what the bandages are for. And he was like, okay. And she's like, anyway, I was planning on throwing a party with some friends because, you're back in the village. And Naruto's like, sure, okay. And she was like, are you going to come? And Naruto's like, yeah, sure, why not? I guess, I don't care. Leave me alone. And Naruto looks at her and was like, before you even, walk away, are you sure anybody else is going to come? And she's like, oh, don't worry, I have my ways. Plus, a lot of our friends want to become friends with you. A lot of my friends want to become friends with you. The guy that was able to single-handedly, with ease, take down Sasuke. So Naruto was like, all right. And she walks away. And she said, the, there's a spot there's like a building, like a small house next to the Hyuga compound that belongs to the Hyugas, but they use it for like small gatherings, and it's sitting outside the Hyuga compound. So that's where she told Naruto to go. Well, that's where she told Naruto to go. So, after she told him to go there after 2 hours. So when Naruto gets there, before he opens up the door, he hears a lot of people laughing. So he stops and he waits, and he cracks open the door just enough to see what's going on inside. And he hears Sakura and he hears Ino laughing, and he sees Hinata, but Hinata really, she was trying to blend in with him, so she was laughing too. Not loud, but enough to where it was noticeable. But it was about Naruto, it was bad, how they were laughing about how he thinks and not. She basically, Sakura was basically I don't understand how he would ever think we would be his friends and stuff like that. And when Naruto opens the door and they see Naruto opens the door and he's just looking he's just right there, and they're looking at him, and Hinata walks up to him and was like, Naruto, you're here. And Naruto was like, get away from me. And she's like, what are you talking about, Naruto? You came. And Tenten was like, yeah, Naruto, you came. But Tenten wasn't laughing. She was more or less telling him to cut it out. But at the same time, Naruto doesn't fuck with Tenten right now. So Naruto looks up at Hinata and was like, was this some sick joke? Is that what this was? And she's trying to explain what she had to do, and Naruto was like, don't bother, don't talk to me. And then Tenten grabs Naruto's arm, and the Nine Tails felt Naruto's anger, so he started to press on the seal, which made Naruto's eyes turn slits, and he reactivated his wind barrier. And Tenten gets her hand kind of razor just a little bit, and Naruto looks back and was like, I don't even know why I fucking bothered. Stay away from me. You come near me again and I will kill you. And he just walks away. And Ino was like, damn, Hinata, Guess he really didn't like you after all. And Hinata, like, know what she did was kind of fucked up. So she's telling everybody to leave. And then she kind of gets this resolve of, since Naruto's strong and if she tries to get near him now, she's gonna die. So she needs to train and train a lot, whether that be on her own or with somebody else. So like Naruto's walking throughout the village, and a lot of people see like Naruto isn't even trying to hide the fact that he's mad. Like the Nine Tails has pressed the seal to the point where it's back weakened to the point where it was before. So Jiraiya can feel this. So he's trying to find Naruto. So when he finds Naruto, he's like, Naruto, what happened? And Naruto's not answering him. And he's like, Naruto, what what happened? And Naruto was like, they lied. And Jiraiya was like, wait, Naruto, who lied to you? And then Kakashi appears and he's like, yo, what's with the chakra, Naruto? And Naruto was like, I don't want to be here. And Jiraiya was like, what do you mean? You kind of have to be here, Naruto. And Naruto looks up at him and was like, in tears, he asks Jiraiya, why me? And Jiraiya looks like was like, wait, what happened? And like a lot of people, Kakashi starts listening to what people are saying, and it's more or less like, oh, there's that demon kid, there's the kid that almost killed Sasuke, things like that. And he taps Kakashi, Kakashi taps Jiraiya on the shoulder and was like, listen to what's going on around you. And he starts listening in on what people are whispering about. And then he looks down at Naruto, and Naruto like just has his head down at this point. And Naruto just starts walking. Like he doesn't know where he's going. He's just walking. And Jiraiya disappears, and he appears in the Hokage's office. And Hiruzen was like, "So did you get the Naruto situation under control?" And Jiraiya was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this village?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, Naruto has been ridiculed. Just outside, you can hear it. It's all they talk about when Naruto's around. He can't walk down the street without hearing Demon Kid or a baby crying because some parent told their kid that Naruto's a monster is going to take their soul away from them or some shit like that. So Naruto, like, he's just walking, and an Amu member was like, hey, he appears inside Hiruzen's office, and he was like, yo, you guys, we have a small situation. A very big situation, but small as in Naruto. And small as in small kid Naruto. So, look outside, and there's just this giant wind ball. It's just sitting outside the village, just this massive fucking wind ball. And like when Jiraiya appears on the scene, he sees like a couple of ninja trying to get into it, and it just shreds them like instantly. So Kakashi's like, how the hell are we supposed to get into that? And Jiraiya was like, it kind of reminds me of and he like thinks of the Rasengan. So he's like, maybe if we hit it with the Rasengan, it'll disappear. Like it'll be a big enough opening for one of us to get through, for me to get through, hopefully. And Naruto, like in the bubble, is like all they say is that I'm a monster, I'm a demon, like things like that. Like, and the Nine Tails is just egging this shit on. Like, yeah, that's all they are. They're just people. You're not a normal person. You have me. We're power. I am power. You can use me for power. Once you have what you need, you don't need no one else. You see what happened to Hinata? She lied to you. She let you believe that she was your friend, your very first friend, and she lied to you. And Naruto was like, maybe no. And Nine Tails was like, what? And Naruto looks at the Nine Tails and is like, here's the thing. You're in my body. So you'll do as I say. I'll use your power as much as I want to. And the only thing you have is a voice. And the Nine Tails was like such insolence coming from a mere child. And the Nine Tails was like, if I wasn't behind this cage, this seal, I would have. And Naruto's like, you would have what? Killed me? Taken everything like you did before? Rid me of my life? That'd be the least of my worries, because then maybe I'll get to see my real parents. So do it. Take it. Because this feels weak. I know you can break through. Kill me. Do it. Because if you won't, no one will. I mean, because if you don't, no one will. And Nine Tails is like, what? Like, the hell? And Naruto is he's still going on. He's like, you took everything that I ever could have cared about. You took my family, the only other people that probably even loved me, away from me. You know that, right? And the Nine Tails is like trying to brush it off, but Naruto isn't like he's just there. Like he's still talking, no matter how. Like Naruto, like the Nine Tails at that point has like closed his eyes and looked completely away and shit like that. And Naruto's still trying to talk to him. And then like he starts hearing people hit the thing, like use our Sengans to get in, aka Kakashi and Jiraiya. So when the little kids get there, like Hinata and them, they're like, what happened? Like who's in there? And they're like Naruto. And Hinata kind of remembers like she's part of the reason why this happened. If she would have never been laughing along with them, none of this would have happened. And like within like the instant that they got there, it dissipated, and Naruto was just standing there. And when when Hinata tries to run up to Naruto to apologize to him, she gets blown away instantly. And that's never happened to Hinata, so Hinata doesn't know how that feels. And Naruto's eyes still has those slits. And Naruto looks over at her and was like, you're not strong enough to be in my presence. If we're not friends, you have to be strong. And trust me, we're not friends, so get stronger. You disgust me. And he walks away. And that destroys Hinata. And Ino was like, that's a little harsh, Naruto. As Naruto's walking past. And Naruto turns and looks at her and grabs her and was like, what did you say earlier? You know, about how you think that I would never want to become your friend? You're right, I wouldn't. I would rather end your life. And he starts like squeezing his hands to get like he starts squeezing the air that he used to grab her. He starts squeezing it and started to choke her. And then like Jiraiya grabs Naruto and was like, yo, like what the fuck? Like stop. And Naruto puts her down and Jiraiya was like, what the hell is going on with you? And Naruto's like, I'm fine. I just woke up a little bit. And he's walking throughout like he starts walking back into the village, and no one's like really no one's really talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, but if it's more or less like, oh my god, what the fuck just happened, and it's not like, oh, Naruto's a demon child or anything like that. So when Naruto gets back to his house, he just goes to sleep, and when he wakes up the next day, like, Hinata has left several notes in his door, but not notes, never mind. Hinata's sitting in the hospital because because Naruto broke her arm. And she's sitting in the hospital and her eyes just like wide open, like she's been scared, like she's surprised. And she hasn't moved from that state at all. She's just stuck like that. And Neji walks into the room and he's like, your father sent me to talk to you. And she's just like she's just staring at the ceiling because they have her laying down. She's just staring at the ceiling, and Neji was like, "You're still like this, huh? It's pretty much a shame, right? To think that you put so much effort into getting to know that boy, and then you went back and betrayed him like that. You did the one thing that you didn't want other people to do. You laughed at him, and you laughed at him, and you laughed and you laughed and you laughed. You're the reason why he's acting like this now, and now you can't even be in his presence if you're not strong." And then he grabs her by the face and he looks at her, like he looks her directly in the face and was like, "But you're too weak to even think about becoming strong." And he drops her, like, yeah. So then like he walks out the room and he was like, "Oh yeah." And your dad said you have um he said, "Oh yeah," and your dad said he expects you back home by the end of today. You're weak, not brittle. He'll accept nothing more, and I'll accept nothing less. And he closes the door, and she finally she snaps back into it because he slammed the door shut. So she snaps back into it, and she's like, "Why? Why did I do that?" And she was then she comes to the realization that in order for her to even be near Naruto, as Naruto said, is she has to be strong enough to withstand some form of his attack without passing out or getting something broken on your body. So she decided that she was going to train. So she leaves the hospital like the hour after Neji gets there. Like after Neji left, she decides to leave the hospital, and when she gets to the other, when she gets to the Hyuga compound, all she's thinking about is training. Nothing more, nothing less. Her father tries to talk to her, berate her for trying to be friends with Naruto. She's disregarding him. Neji's tried to talk to her about training. She's disregarded him. No one really knows what's going on through her head right now because she's not talking to anybody. Then when Neji told Sakura, so Sakura tried to go and talk to her, and she's not answering Sakura, but Tenten is trying to find Naruto. So she goes to his house. She goes to his house, and when she gets to his house, she knocks on the door. And Naruto opens the door and was like, "What do you want?" And she's like, "Maybe you shouldn't have did that." And Naruto was like, "The only reason why you're not getting blown out of my sight right now is because you weren't laughing. What do you want?" And she was like, I just came here to help. You don't have to be rude. And Naruto looks at her and was like, I'm sorry, I don't remember asking. And he closes the door. And she's like, that's so rude. And Naruto's like, yeah, I know, right? So rude. Sucks, doesn't it? I know. Leave my presence. And she walks away. And then she sees Hinata walking like up toward Naruto's house. So she tries to run like as quickly as she could. So when Hinata gets up there, she knocks on Naruto's door. And before Naruto opens the door, before he can even say anything, she's like, I've gotten stronger. And Naruto looks at her and she was like, I'm sorry. I'm stronger now. Right? I can stay here. I'm stronger. And Naruto's like, no, you're not. And he blows her away. And this has happened over the course of several days. Like like out of the week, it happened every week. It happened every day of a business week of like Monday through Friday. It happened for a full week of Monday through Friday, 2 times a day, of her just getting blown off Naruto's porch. So when the next time Naruto and Jiraiya meets up, it's just silence. And Naruto begins to work on the Rasengan even more than what it already is. And he somehow is able to master a bigger version of the Rasengan. And his eyes are still slits. Like he can't not get he can have his normal eyes back, but he doesn't want them. He thinks of his normal eyes as a weakness because of that fact. Like that's when he let his guard down, he got messed up. Like he let his guard down and got betrayed. So in his mind, if he doesn't let his guard down, he'll never get betrayed again. So Jiraiya tells Naruto, Team 7 has the first mission. And Naruto looks over at him and was like, what's the mission? And he was like, you have to escort Tazuna back to, whatever, bumfuck, wherever the fuck he lives at. I don't know. It's like the Cloud Village or some shit, right? And Naruto's like, oh, and when is this? He's like, tomorrow. And Naruto's like, are we done for the day? And Jiraiya was like, yeah, we're done. And as Naruto's walking off, he was like, oh, and Jiraiya? And Jiraiya's like, yeah. And Naruto's like, I know you're trying your best, but it's not gonna work. Never again. And Naruto walks off. And Jiraiya, is just there. Like, he doesn't know what the fuck he can do. So Naruto goes back to his house. And when he gets to his house, he sees a note on the door from Sasuke. And it's basically saying, since our first mission's tomorrow, you better not get in my way. Or, just don't do anything stupid. And Naruto doesn't even bother to give the note a second chance. Like, he just shreds it up using his wind. So, Naruto goes in his house. And the Nine Tails is like... The Nine Tails tells him, like, eventually you're gonna have to talk to someone about this. You can't just not. And Naruto, in his mindscape, turns around and tells the Nine Tails, I don't remember asking you to talk. Did I? Did I ask you to talk? I don't recall saying, hey, Kurama, or hey, Nine Tails, talk to me. I don't think he knows his name yet. So I'm going to say, I didn't think he'd say, Nine Tails, I didn't tell the Nine Tails to talk to me. I didn't ask the Nine Tails for, his input, did I? No, I didn't. And the Nine Tails tells him bro, what? Never mind. And Naruto makes him dinner and he goes to sleep. He wakes up the next day and so when Naruto wakes up, he gets ready and he leaves to go do the mission. So when he gets to the mission spot where they were supposed to meet, Sakura is completely distant from Naruto. And Sasuke is ignoring her. And Tazuna walks in the room and was like, "This is my team." Some pretty princess, an emo guy. And he looks toward Naruto. And before he can even say anything, Naruto grabs him with a wind and tells him if he even thinks about saying something stupid, this mission will be over because I'll kill you. And Tazuna was like, okay, geez, damn. Tough crowd, isn't it? And Sakura was like, oh, don't worry. He's only acting like that because he's heartbroken. Because he actually thought Hinata liked him as a person. And Naruto turns and looks at Sakura, and legitimately was gonna murk her. The only thing that stopped him from murking her was Kakashi tapping Naruto on the shoulder. And he was like, anyway, let's get ready to go. And they start heading out. And Naruto's like, why don't I just grab Tazuna with my wind and we can just get there in a matter of seconds. I don't even need my full team. And Kakashi's like, that's a good point. That's a good point, Naruto. But at the same time, no. Your team needs to participate as well. And Naruto's like, I don't know why they're useless. One of them has an arm broken, the other one literally can't do anything. And Kakashi looks at, Kakashi looks back there, and Naruto is right. One of them's arm is broke. I mean, one of them's not broke, but slashed, so he can't really move it. When the stitches are gonna mess up, and Sakura can't really do anything to begin with. So when Naruto, when they get to where the demon brothers are supposed to pop up, Kakashi senses them, but he doesn't do anything. So when the demon brothers pop up and act like they were when they were supposed to quote unquote kill Kakashi, before they could even get to Kakashi, Naruto just shreds them up with wind. They're fucking small red puddles on the floor type shred. So Tazuna was like, wow, this kid's really something, isn't he? And Naruto's like, I'm not a kid. And stay out of my business. And that's final. And when they get to the bridge and they see, and Kakashi tells them to duck, Naruto ducks because he doesn't know what the hell is coming. He feels he sees it coming, but he knows that I don't think an executioner's blade would be able to withstand it. So he does end up ducking the first time. So when Zabuza lands on the blade, he's like, oh, so this is the team that they sent to escort Tazuna. And this is where I'm ending this part off. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, drop a like. If y'all enjoyed my content, please subscribe. And without further ado, it's the end of the video, my guys. So peace out.